We hope that your organization will join many others in saying no thanks to big tobacco, and here's why. Tobacco remains a major killer in this country, taking the lives of almost 500,000 people every single year. And the tobacco companies, since they've been banned from most forms of advertising, have now developed a new strategy. They get to your organization, they get to community events through sponsorships, trying to develop respectability within the community. Their whole goal is to get at our youngsters, to develop young addicts as soon as possible so that their product can continue to be socially acceptable for generations to come. Cayuga and Onondaga counties, rural farms, small towns, and large cities have a common thread. Many have taken a stand and said, no thanks to big tobacco.
Money to us translates into staffing. Staffing translates into direct services within the community for youth, for parents, for other adults in the community.
Extend to all of the guests and participants the opportunity to share their assets.
The Prevention Network promotes healthy choices, educates, trains, and provides prevention services pertaining to substance use, abuse, and addictions.
We've had dollars presented to us from tobacco. We've had dollars presented to us from the alcohol industry. We've had dollars presented to us from the gambling industry. What we need to look at ethically as an organization is when we look at tobacco specifically, we have a product that we know is 100% addictive. Profits from a product of that nature are only there because of someone else's addiction, and along with that addiction is all the negative consequences. I don't think that we as an organization ethically can take those dollars. Even though it can be presented that you could use those dollars to prevent, it is still feeding the business, the industry. Those dollars are dirty money, blood money, call it whatever you wish.
Once as common as hot dogs and peanuts, tobacco advertising is no longer a part of hometown baseball.
Something that went, unfortunately, hand in hand for a long time, not just smoking, but the use of chewing tobacco, smokeless tobacco, as they call it. And I think that was really the impetus behind the minor league baseball saying, okay, that's enough. They didn't want to be identified with it. They knew it was setting a bad example. It was bad for the health of their own players. So they just said, all right, that's it. No more use on the field. You're not taking any more money from these advertisers. And Marlboro was an advertiser probably in just about every minor league stadium. They'd come to you in January and said, okay, we're going to put this up. We'll take care of the artwork and putting it up for you. We're going to give you this much money. And back in the old days, everybody said, great. And maybe those were the days where we didn't realize the dangers that were associated with it. So modern day minor league baseball is pretty much completely tobacco free. As an organization that hosts the entire community, promoting something that's dangerous and damaging to our potential clientele is just not something that we would want to promote. So it was an easy decision for us to sign the statement and to stick to that policy.
The Cayuga Health Association provides many services, including Meals on Wheels. Many people rely on their good work, and of course, it would be easy to accept money from such a willing source, the tobacco companies. But like so many others in our community, they say no to big tobacco.
We believe that there's enough funding out there where we don't have to make a choice of accepting the money in order to fulfill our services. It didn't take too much of a thought because we had been supporting that policy even before we signed that piece of paper. If we don't support the tobacco companies, maybe eventually they'll disappear.
Beata Karpinska has seen the damage smoking can do. Arise tries in many ways to do good in the community. She feels that no good can be done with money that comes from such a harmful product.
We really would like to make a difference in the community, and we want to make it with good money, money that's generated through different resources that are not generated by people suffering either medically or in other ways. And I personally consider tobacco money associated with this type of hardship and suffering. We just feel that very strongly that we have to look for other resources. Even though sometimes it's very hard to do fundraising, we feel that taking money from tobacco industry would be a bad thing to do. and it's not something that we will endorse.
Although it would be a tremendous help, the Cayuga County Fair won't accept any advertising or promotions for any tobacco company.
We chose to not take any advertising money from anybody that sponsored either tobacco or alcohol products. We chose to, we knew that we were going to lose a lot of corporate sponsorship by doing that, but we also felt that with the youth and community and with our involvement with 4-H and FFA and a lot of the open shows where we have youth in, that we wanted to give that look to the fair. It would be a lot easier if we were able to just accept checks in large amounts. The 4 and the 5 digit numbers would make our fair operate much easier. But no, we choose to go bang on doors, look at at the local businesses around the community. We will do whatever it takes to continue our policy of not taking money from them.
CLIC gives young adults a place to learn and grow. Programs are important, funding is necessary, but Bonnie McCabe draws the line at tobacco money.
To me, it was a no-brainer to sign it. I'm running a community center, trying to get kids a healthy start, and I don't want them using tobacco products, and so therefore it's kind of hypocritical of me to think that I might accept money from a tobacco company, because what they're promoting and what I'm promoting are two different things. There are a lot of outlets out there. I'm certainly a nonprofit that's always struggling to be able to pay my rent and to offer the programs that I want to offer to kids. But I'm willing to work a little harder, if need be, to assure that I have funds from a source that doesn't promote something that I feel is very dangerous to the community that I'm trying to serve. And so therefore I need to do everything I can to try and balance what's out there versus what's in here. And what's in here is going to be as smoke-free and tobacco-free as possible.
Whole Me provides essential services to the deaf and hard of hearing community.
They need to come together like that.
Outreach to the hearing community is an important part of their mission.
As a small nonprofit, we struggle on a day-to-day basis to fund the organization, and it would be very easy for me to take money from Big Tobacco, but I would be going against what I believe in is right, my principles. We say no because it's a statement to the kids that we work with, it's a statement to their families, and it's a statement to the community that we can stand and we can educate, and we don't need the help of Big Tobacco to do that. There's lots of folks out there who are willing to help us. There's lots of folks out there who are making healthy choices and promoting a healthy lifestyle. Those are the folks we want to be with, not an organization or a group that promotes unhealthy choices, unhealthy lifestyles.
Mike Ruff feels that many organizations standing together can stop the tobacco companies' invasive efforts to create new smokers.
No, yes and no. There's always power in numbers. When people work together for a common good, it's a much more powerful statement than one person alone. If I was the only person on the list, I would still sign the list. But to be on a list with a group of organizations who make the same commitment, the same statement, that just empowers me to know that I'm doing the right thing, that I'm working with other people who are dedicated towards the same goal.
The tobacco companies are rich, powerful, and influential. It's important to take a stand and not allow them to take advantage of your organization's good reputation in the community. Accepting funding from tobacco companies allows them to pass themselves off in our community as some type of caring benefactor. The reality is they're in business to sell cigarettes and entice young people to start smoking. No amount of money they give can rectify the damage they cause. We ask for your commitment to refuse tobacco company contributions to your organization or event and help keep the influence of tobacco away from our children. Take a stand. Please say, no thanks, Big Tobacco.